Good afternoon everyone, my name is Lewis. Welcome back to the channel. I hope I find you all in good health. So, as per usual, I've chosen 3 albums from the vault to discuss with you today. I'm going to go over each album in turn, um, why I like them and why I would recommend them to you. So, first of all, is a 1963 release by a gentleman called Gene Shaw, and the album is called Debut in Blues. How about that for an album cover? That's super nice. Yeah, I love the abstraction. Loving the font. It's looking, yeah, it's almost Blue Note, but not Blue Note, but super similar. So, um, I really like this album. It exudes cool, um, and to my ears at least, it's very reminiscent of like a film noir soundtrack. I kind of half expect this would be the music to accompany like a Humphrey Bogart type film. An actor of some standing. So yeah, it's like the underbelly of society, that kind of thing going on. So it's super nice. It's got some wonderful compositions on here, and as I said, it kind of provides a glimpse into what is behind the curtain, or what's under the surface, or behind the veil, that kind of thing. So yeah, as I said before, it's like a very kind of noirish, kind of smooth and interesting sound going on there. Yeah, I really want you to have a listen to this because I think it's a quality piece of work. And I've had a look around YouTube to see if anyone else has spoken about this particular one, and very few people have mentioned this particular artist or album, and I think that's a real shame. So please have a listen to it. The tracks that I would recommend on this particular album are Karachi, The Gentle Princess, and Travel Log. 3 really, like, top shelf tunes. By anyone else, they'll be raved about all the time. So again, it's kind of, it, it might happen in other musical genres. It's kind of like who you are rather than what you do, kind of thing. But if you've never heard of Gene Shaw, um, then have a listen to this and see if this particular artist will fit in well with your collection of music. Notables on this particular album are Jim Taylor on piano, who does a sensational job of, he's kind of like the glue that sticks it all together, kind of thing. He's got a lovely way of going up and down the keyboard, which I really did appreciate. So yeah, really good stuff on this particular album. So you should be able to find it. It's not going to be super expensive if you can find it. It's just whether or not it fits into your taste, and hopefully it does. And if it doesn't, you're going to let me know in the comments section. So that's today's first album. The second album today is a 1971 release by a gentleman called Harold Land, and the album is entitled A New Shade of Blue. Here we go. Try to eliminate some of that glare. Yeah, hopefully I've done that for you. Um, Before I'm even going to start talking about this album, I've got to talk about the art direction. I think this is a horrific cover. I really had a bad reaction, like I was going to vomit. Yeah, literally, bile was in my throat when I looked at this, and I can't really look at it. And I don't mean to exaggerate that. It's not just the image itself, although he's wearing one of the ugliest shirts I've ever seen. It's more to do with like the text, where his name and the album title is considered and printed there. That's so lazy. Why would you do that? Why did you? Just hold on one moment. Let's go back to the Gene Shaw. Look how nicely that's done. That was done with thought and effort and passion, and it's somebody who really cared about what they were doing. We go back to the Harold Land. What the hell is going on here? That's embarrassing. Why couldn't you do a better job than that? Yeah, I can't figure that one out. It's just appalling. Anyway, so for let's put that to one side. For me, at least, I see this as kind of like, and this is just my opinion. I see this as a companion piece to Stanley Turrentine's West Side Highway album. Very similar ballpark, which I introduced to you, or yeah, introduced to you probably in the first episode, I think, something like that. I love that album. Great cover as well, unlike this one. But yes, I think this is a much stronger affair. It's got superior material on it, and the musicianship on this one is of a higher quality. Um, yeah, this is like a better insight into the urban existence, and that's why I kind of like think of them as companion pieces. Um, but there is a definite underlying optimism to the material on display here within the compositions. Despite the identification of the truth of things, um, and what I mean by that is how things are rather than how they should be. But it's still got an optimistic rather than pessimistic feel to it. So hopefully that made some sense. In my mind, it made sense, and in my notes, that made sense. But hopefully, I articulated it to some extent. But hopefully, you understand what I mean. Um, it's a nice piece. It really is. And if you've not heard of this gentleman and you've not seen this album before, I do recommend you having a listening to it and see whether or not it fits into your particular collection of jazz vinyl. The tracks that I would recommend from this album would be A New Shade of Blue, Short Subject, and Ode to Angela. Three really strong tracks played with passion and talent, undoubted talent. Notables on this album are Bobby Hutcherson, and I've highlighted him to you or presented him to you on earlier episodes of this channel. Buster Williams on bass. Oh, sorry, Hutcherson was on vibraphone, and Matumi on congas. Yeah, Matumi's one of those dudes who just turns up on quite a few people's albums across different genres, and he's just a bit of quality. I think he's fun as well. So he's one of those guys, popular guys who gets tended. He tends to get invited to all the cool parties. So yeah, that's three big names for you, and the quality shows. This is still available on vinyl. If you think that it's going to fit into your collection, I would say don't take too long in trying to purchase it, because it might just disappear at some stage again. But meanwhile, it is available. It's going to be for reasonable money, so please consider it. Hopefully you share my opinion. The last album today is an absolute treat, and I'm super glad that I own it. It's a 1973 release, and I'm going to butcher the names. There's easy parts to the name and there's hard parts, but you're going to have to forgive me. I mean no offense. The Jazz Workshop, and as I said, 1973 release, and it's an album called Mazare Israel Yekab Zenu. Hopefully I've pronounced that somewhat roughly to what it actually is. But before we start off with my assessment of this album, look at that cover. That's beautiful. I almost want to buy a second copy of this album just so I can have this album cover and frame it at some point. So yeah, super. Um, this album is not a novelty. It's a breathtaking piece of work. It's a kind of, well, it's Israeli jazz. It's one of the earliest examples of a standalone Israeli jazz album, as far as my research has gone. Um, this album is littered with exquisite compositions, which paint an original and authentic vista, um, on the one hand, and they're grand in scale on the one hand, and more personal and intimate relationships between individuals and small groups on the other. Now, that could sound like complete garbage to you, and sometimes when I listen back to myself, it sounds like garbage to me. But when you actually listen to this album, you'll have a better insight into what I'm trying to convey there. This is just really good. It's a worthy jazz album, which again should be more in prominence than what it actually is. It seems to be still quite an underground piece, which I'm really surprised by. This is very good. I highly recommend it. The tracks to look out for, or I would highlight from this album, and again, forgive me, are Shah, Still, Harabi, Ba. That's one track. Then there is Ken, Yovdu, Kol, Oiveka. And the last one is Hamichtav. Again, hopefully I haven't butchered that too much. And if you do check on one of the streaming sites for this particular album, you'll basically be able to decipher what tracks I was trying to allude to. So yeah, this is a really good affair. I would highly recommend it. If you like jazz, I'll be surprised if you don't like this. And if you don't, please let me know in the comment section. I'd be interested to hear your feedback on it. The notables on this particular album are Dan Gottfried on piano, who does a lovely job, Jerry Garbell on drums, and Albert Piamenta on saxophone. Congratulations, guys. You did a really, really outstanding job there. So well done to you all. Like I said, I think this is a no-brainer, this one. I'm super passionate about it, and if you see it, buy it. It's just really that simple. But yeah, do have a listen to it beforehand. Sometimes it's mad to do these impulsive buys, but I don't. I think this one's a no-brainer. So that's the last album for today. I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute blast, as per usual. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share even. If you do have any suggestions for me in terms of albums that I should be perhaps listening to, which feature in your collection and you think will fit in with mine, please let me know and I'll be happy to try and seek it out. So until next time, do look after yourselves. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, and I will see you for the next episode. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.